I why? Why? I mean, just why? Okay. All right. So now before we get into the real big news of the video today, I want to talk about some smaller news regarding the Nintendo Switch 2. And honestly, it's a little bit of good news. Little bits. So, Nintendo, a couple days ago, rolled out version 20, I think, for Nintendo Switch software. And it added a couple of new features. First off, Game Share has been added, which that was a feature advertised in the Switch 2 Directs that was going to be available on Switch 1. But also something, whoops. But also something new called virtual game cards. Now, I don't know if this has been out anywhere, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it. And from what I understand, it's a way to share your digital games with other people, kind of in the same fashion as you would just like a physical game card. I don't know too much about this, but I mean, hey, it seems good. And also the actual good news is we're getting some changes to the Nintendo eShop, which anyone who's viewed Nintendo eShop knows that is just a really bad storefronts. It's literally all you see on there are Nintendo first party games, and then everything else is just shovelware. It's just shovelware as far as the eye can see. And there was a change announced. So I'm looking at here, says that apparently the reason so much shovelware got into the top is because the way Nintendo calculated what was advertised in the storefronts is that it would check any sales made from the past 48 hours, and the top game selling in the past 48 hours would go up at the top. Have it went off of copies, so what all these shovelware developers would do is that they would make a really cheap ass game, and then they would discount at like 95%, so it costs like $1. And then that sells like 100 copies because it's only $1, and then it goes to the top of the charts. So now what Nintendo is doing is that they're changing it so instead of going based off of copies sold in the past 48 hours, they're changing it to revenue generated in the past 72 hours. So not only are you increasing your time frame, but also you're going off of how much money has that game made. So, example, say a $60 game sells 20 copies and a $1 game sells 100 copies. Those those 20 copies of the $60 game are going to be shown up higher because it made more revenue. Which I'm not sure how well this will work. The only I'd see Spawnwave talking about how this could be bad for indie games because like indie games are obviously always going to be priced a lot lower than every big game. But even so, I feel like it's good that Nintendo's actually trying to make a move on shovelware to get out of to try and shove it to the bottom of the eShop as much as possible. So it's been a little over a month since the Switch 2 Direct occurred, and all that whole crazy debacle came to be. And when that happens, I made a video doing a critique of the pricing of the Nintendo Switch 2 and all the accessories. And one of the things I mentioned in that video was this. Oh, and it's muted. Okay. Which and the reason, and I mentioned seconds ago that this is bad for the industry as a whole. The reason why it's bad for the industry as a whole is because if Nintendo is able to pull this and get away with it, Guess what other developers are gonna do?
Every game from now on is gonna be like
Yep, they're gonna
70,
follow suit. They're
80.
gonna jack up their prices. Like, you bet your ass EA is gonna do it. Who else? Ubisoft would do it. Like any of the big greed companies would definitely do it. Activision, Blizzard, they would pull that kind of shit. Which I just
It's
why
just not good.
like so this is why we really
Playing
need
games
Mario
could be a
Kart World.
hobby.
This is why we desperately need Mario Kart World to flop, because if it does flop, then that means other developers are gonna be like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't jack our prices up like that. So yeah, I said that, and it looks like we didn't need to wait long. I mean, I knew this would happen. It wasn't that hard to see that this would happen, but I don't think any of us thought that it would happen so fast. And this time, it is Xbox who is following suit. Well, first off, they're doing a general hardware increase, where so I thought we all thought Nintendo was trying to play the devil when they did the whole stuff with the Switch 2, but there's a chance that they were just trying to draw out the true nature of everyone else. Because you look at these prices from Xbox, it's bad, like really bad. In comparison, this makes Nintendo look a lot more affordable when you look at the price. I mean, look, 380 bucks for Series S with only half a gig of storage, and then a standard Series X 600 now, up from 500. 2 TB Galaxy Black. I mean, this is just a. I'm pretty sure it's a limited edition. Controller staying the same somehow. I don't know why. And but the big one is that they announced that I can't find the tweets, but they announced that by December or by the holidays, what they said, that they are going to be raising the MSRP of their first party games to $80. Wait, I at this point is the boycott even worth it? I we lost before we could even start the fights. I I mean, Sony I don't know where else to go from here. Sony's prices are still the same. That'll probably change within a couple weeks. At this point, we're on track to have another game industry crash like the one back in 1983, I think is what it was. Uh, where there was just so many badly developed games coming out at such a high price that the market became just so saturated and the people stopped buying, and that's what crashed the industry. Uh, which I seriously hope that happens. I want that to happen so then all the greedy dirtbags up in all the industries will finally leave because they see the space is no longer profitable, and then we can finally start fresh like we did back with the NES.